the busy month of February continues then with a home game on Saturday against Huddersfield. Glenn, it's another chance to get revenge for a poor result earlier in the season.
Yeah, it was, and we really didn't play well at all in that game. We had a little sort of 5-minute spell when we scored, but up to then we weren't great. And in the second half, we were terrible. That was when we were still almost being complacent at 1-0. And yeah, we were terrible. And then they scored a fluke, wasn't it? It was a sort of left-footed cross from the right that everybody missed. Floated over someone's head and bounced, and presumably didn't get across. So it was a poor couple of points to drop. But like with the Rotherham game, we've improved so much since then that you've got to think that if we take the lead, and especially at home, where since that Rotherham home game we've won every game, so obviously that's going to come to an end at some point. But I don't see it against Huddersfield, even though they had a good result at the weekend. They've sacked the manager, haven't they? Since
potential new manager bounce, Michael Duff coming in potentially.
Yeah, the Swansea PE teacher, who, I imagine he'll be trying to delay his appointment until after they've played us. So I can't imagine he'd want to face Russell Martin at St Mary's straight away. But no, I don't really see too much to fear with this one, even though they've had a good result, and we've just got to do the business like we have been doing against these sort of teams, and there shouldn't be any sort of repeat of the dropping of points that we had at Huddersfield's ground.
When you look at the fixtures, Steve, there's some tricky ones coming up after this, and I'm not being disrespectful, but it kind of seems to me that this might be the easier of the games this month, and this is a good chance to get 3 more points in the bag before, I think, is it like Bristol City, and I think we've got West Brom coming up too. They're not going to be easy games.
Yeah, there's a whole sort of bump in the road coming.
I'm sure the Leeds fans will correct me in the comments if I got it wrong. But
yes. Bristol City were really just toothless against Leeds on Friday. It's really disappointing. I was hoping they were going to kind of go at them a little bit and kind of give them a bit of a test, but they didn't show anything. So if they're kind of the same against us, then I actually don't think that game's going to be as much of a problem. West Brom at the Hawthorns are a tough proposition.
Yeah.
They've got a very good home record. Late win against Birmingham yesterday. Huddersfield is without a doubt the sort of the one on that run of games coming up where you'd say, I mean, absolutely that's a home win, and I don't think I'd be going anywhere other than a comfortable home win for that.
Alfie, this was the game back in November, I think, where we were struggling to get that second goal. I think you wrote about it at the time. We spoke about it at the time. That was what was really costing us, especially away from home. But it seems that we're over that now, so that shouldn't be a problem on Saturday.
Yeah, well, away from home, I think it's still been since February 2020 that Saints haven't won by 3 goals on the road. So I suppose you could say that's something that is still going on. But this one you'd like to think it'll be routine enough. At home, it'll be a full-strength side. It'll be probably, depending on what happens on Tuesday night, I suppose it'll probably be exactly the same 11 that played the last 2 league games, and there's no reason to fear anything other than a home win. So, yeah, I'm actually going to be missing this one because I'm going to Iceland for a few days. This will be the first league game I'm missing for quite a long time, which is a bit of a shame. So I'm hoping I don't miss any fireworks. I'm sure I won't.
Let's hope that's not an omen. There was a bit of anger around at the time, wasn't there? I remember, like, back in November, Glenn, people thinking that was it. We're never going to make the automatics after that result. When we were chucking away, because I think the others did. Ipswich and Leicester drop some points that weekend as well. There was a lot of people thinking, actually, we're not going to get the automatics at this rate. But we've come a long way since then.
Yeah, we definitely have, and we've sorted out the home form, and the last 2 games, Swansea and Rotherham, we seem to have sorted out the away form as well. It's just a case of keeping going once we get ahead and not thinking that the job is done. I know that there was probably a little bit of playing within ourselves in the second half against Rotherham, but certainly at home we keep going, even if teams keep it relatively tight, and it might only be 1-0 after 60 minutes, but we seem to reap the benefits later on of the way we play. So, yeah, what I like about our team, regardless of anything else, is the fact that we do seem to be still learning, still improving, still chipping away at things. There's so many individual players who are playing better than they were at the start of the season, and certainly the sort of team play and the way it all knits together is certainly improving. Maybe set pieces will come together. I mean, I know we scored a goal kind of from a corner on against Rotherham, but we don't seem to be too threatening at that. Maybe that's an area that we can look to improve on. Maybe we need a new set piece coach. Who knows? But but yeah, I mean, I agree with what you're saying with the fixture list we've got coming up. Sooner or later we start playing the 4 teams that we lost, and obviously, we've got Ipswich away and we've got Leeds away last game. We've got Leicester away, so there are many more difficult tests to come that should be a lot more difficult than this one should be. So hopefully we can get it done and move on to the bigger challenges later.
I know it's Ipswich are playing at 12:30 on Saturday though, so I think by the time kickoff comes around, there could be an opportunity to go even further ahead in the table.
That really could be some redemption. Steve, final word on Huddersfield. I mean, you mentioned the result of the weekend. It wasn't a great game by all accounts. Was it those 4 goals came in, I think, 12 minutes or something? Caretaker manager, which often means a bit of unpredictability. They might have someone in place by then, but should we be wary of them in any way? Can you make a case?
I think we've ultimately got to be wary of our own complacency. We are man for man going to be a better team than whatever Huddersfield are able to put out on that pitch on Saturday.
Yep.
So as long as we do our job, then barring any sort of Rotherham at home-esque weirdness, we should be winning the game. I don't fear Huddersfield. They've looked anemic up front for the most part. Saturday was, I mean, judging by Huddersfield fan reaction online, it was basically a game that was destined to be 0-0 until a sudden sort of freak 15-20 minute period where football broke out, but only at one end of the pitch. So I don't see them threatening us a whole lot, but yeah, still got to be wary, keep the back door shut.
Okay, let's get some score predictions then. So Eleanor was on last week, Alfie, and got the score prediction right. I don't know if that means you get the points. I don't know whether technically she was playing for you. We'll have to check the rules on that one. But do you want to go first with a score prediction for the Huddersfield game?
Are we skipping Watford completely?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Huddersfield, I will go for a nice, easy 3-0 win.
Okay, I think I did the cut by mistake last time. Then Steve got all excited because he thought we'd getting some points, and it turns out that doesn't count towards the. I don't know. I think they're making up the rules as we go along. So, Glenn,
I was going to say exactly the same as Alfie, so I'll stick with it and go 3-0 home win.
We could have a clean sheet for 3-0. Steve,
I don't think it will be quite as sort of one-sided in terms of the scoreline as our sort of recent home games, just because we've got this run of silly midweek games coming up, and we're going to be trying to get people off the pitch as quickly as possible on Saturday, I imagine. So I reckon we'll get 2-0 and then a whole load of substitutions, and it will all go a bit disjointed for 20 minutes.
You don't back Sekumara to get himself one?
Well, he might do. He's done it a few times in the last couple of months, hasn't he? But I think balance of probability says probably not. 2-0 for me.
Okay, thank you.